First of all, no, I do not work for IGN or the Illuminati. I just had a good hookup. Shout outs to Agent M, I really appreciate it. But anyway, what's good YouTube? It's your host Axl Rose, the Shogun with the slogan, and you are now watching MVP Magazine. Once again, Nintendo have chosen to re-release one of its epic back catalogue of consoles, and today we are looking at the Super Nintendo Entertainment Classic Mini. And this is really cool because the original console itself was probably one of the most prolific in the whole history of gaming, next to the original PlayStation and Sega Genesis, with so many classic games that pushed the genre beyond the concept of what gaming was. And Nintendo chose to celebrate this by just not making it available to buy. Now, one thing that I think is really cool about the SNES Classic, just upon looking at it straight up, the box art is just brimming with nostalgia. Anyone who remembers the original console will be taken back instantly to just even seeing it in magazines and just wanting to just have every game that was available on the page. And the back of the packaging just perfectly mirrors just what we'd have back in the 90s. This is really cool. Nintendo, I'm definitely giving you props for your packaging right here, because the nostalgia that you just managed to pack and throw in there is just priceless. Almost brings a tear to my eye. Now, one thing you will really notice about the box is that it is really small. And if you are in the US and paying $80 for this, you may slightly feel disheartened, but just hold on, it gets better. And as we can see, we have the usual documents, all that good stuff you will never read. Now, the unit itself is operated via USB cable. You can either charge it even in an... I was actually using it with my PlayStation Pro a couple of seconds ago, So I was using it via that. You could probably, power it via your Mac. I'm not gonna lie, Nintendo do not provide a plug, so that's a little bit of a downside and stuff. But apart from that, loads of neat packaging. Seems like they were trying to cut costs there.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Now, looking at the unit by itself right now, you can't actually tell the exact scale and size. But trust me, it is called the Classic Mini for a reason. It is tiny. And with all the next gen refreshes and consoles which are just out already, that is definitely a plus, because it just makes it a lot easier for this to just sit in your entertainment system without causing any clutter, especially if you've already got the initial Classic, which I have not. But anyway, really small, good thing, really cool. But here's the thing. In this angle that you are seeing right now, should I say at this angle, proper English, but anyway, at this angle, you can't actually tell how small it is. But as you can tell from this angle, the console itself isn't that much bigger than the controllers. And from the width angle and dimension, the controllers actually do have some size on the console. And this is a true testament to Nintendo's skill when it comes to just making these miniature versions of these consoles. I really want to see what they'll be able to do next with the future iterations. But yeah, I think this is really cool. The fact that they was able to capture all the quaint characteristics and nice touches of the console in such a small package is awesome. And speaking of the controller, in my opinion, it is an accurate, faithful replica of the awesome original that we know and love. And even though the D-pad does feel a little bit rough, it feels more like it needs to be broken in rather than it feeling kind of cheap. Like when I was playing Street Fighter, I had to give it the Street Fighter Turbo test. I had to, and I could pull off my combos really easy right out of the box. And for me, that was a plus, because I know when it comes time for that two-player action, yep, it's gonna be going down. So yep, the controller looks awesome. It's faithfully replicated in the Japanese and UK colors. In your face, Americans, we got the multicolored buttons. But yeah, I think it's really cool, and the shoulder buttons feel really good, really responsive. Gonna feel really great when I'm playing Mario Kart, doing my hops and stuff like that. Unfortunately, they ain't got the boost in this version, darn. But yeah, great job with the controllers, man. But what would this console be without games?
Who wants a brand new Xbox?
And luckily, this package boasts a variety of content from the Super Nintendo's golden years. So no matter what genre you particularly prefer, there should be something there to whet your gaming appetite. But one of the biggest appeals of this package is to play certain games that weren't released in the West, or certain territories in the West. Like for me personally, I get to play Super Mario RPG on a proper console and not some ROM hack. And obviously there's the big deal about, Star Fox 2, the previously unreleased game that everyone's wanted to play for, decades now, and now having a very convenient way to play the arguably best title in the Final Fantasy franchise without having to pay over $200 for a cartridge. Yes, Final Fantasy 6 or 3 in the West that's just nothing to be sneezed at, and it is awesome. So there you have it, the Super Nintendo Classic, an essential piece for retro gaming collectors, or for people that just are hungry for an extra piece of nostalgia. Now, I would have preferred some online modes for some of the games, even if it was in the form of scoreboards or rankings or just something along the lines of that. I mean, a 2-player online mode of Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the Super Nintendo would be off the hinges, but I'd take a ranking if we could get that, I would. And the fact that there are considerably less games than in the last NES Classic doesn't exactly bode well, especially when they left off classics like Hagane, Super Adventure Island, Poppin' Twimby, Mortal Kombat. The list goes on, so it does have some downsides, but apart from that, it's still an essential buy for my retro gamers out there. So if you've been able to get your hands on one, let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like, share and subscribe for all that great stuff, and holla at your boy. Peace.